Grocery prices are exploding again, and Donald Trump has a new political panic on his hands. This is not like, oh, this is meant to distract from that, is meant to distract from this other thing. It's simply the case that over the last several weeks, because of one crisis after another, there hasn't been a lot of talk about what's going on with grocery prices. But grocery prices are blown sky high. According to new data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, food prices jumped 0.6% in August alone. Now, you might say, well, 0.6% doesn't sound like that much. That sounds kind of small. But this is the sharpest monthly increase since 2022. And we know, because Trump told us while Biden was president, that families are buckling under sky-high grocery bills. Trump made the promise that he would lower grocery prices. Trump made the promise that tariffs were going to lower costs for American families, even though every serious economist knew that that wasn't going to happen. And we were told, you put a tariff on China, you put a tariff on these other countries, it's going to protect American workers. It'll make goods cheaper. Elizabeth Warren had a great tweet. Under Donald Trump's economy, coffee's up 26%, beef up 14%, oranges up 17%, bananas up 6%, chicken is up 6%, chocolate chip cookies up 5%, chips up 4%, milk up 4%, but worker pay is up only 2%. Trumpflation is eating your paycheck. And instead, we see tariffs raising the cost of fertilizer, farm machinery, transportation. These are all elements of the economy that have a ripple effect into grocery aisles across the country. Remember Donald Trump's promises, and this is why this is such a big story. It's because Trump made the following promises during the campaign.
We will end inflation and make America affordable again. We're going to get the prices down. We have to get them down. It's too much. Groceries, cars, everything. We're going to get the prices down. But prices will come down. You just watch. They'll come down, and they'll come down fast, not only with insurance, with everything. Oh, tomorrow I will end inflation. We will cut your taxes, end inflation, slash your prices. I will end inflation. End inflation. Slash your prices. To rapidly reduce inflation, I will end inflation very quickly. End inflation. Slash your prices. We will cut your taxes. End inflation. Slash your prices. We're going to get your prices down.
That didn't work out. Now, a lot of you write in and you sometimes say, David, is it fair to hold Trump to these expectations? Presidents only have a little bit of an effect on everything related to food. And is it fair? Well, if Trump's promises had been, listen, I recognize what's going on with cost of living in this country. I'm going to do everything I can, but it's tough to turn around. If he had been realistic, then we wouldn't be holding him to his own unrealistic promises. But it is Trump who said groceries are coming down. It's all going to come down. It's all going to start coming down on day one. Now, of course, if you had heard Donald Trump talk about groceries during his campaign, you would have realized he didn't actually understand it. Remember this?
Likewise, an old-fashioned term that we use, groceries. I used it in the campaign. It's such an old-fashioned term, but a beautiful term, groceries. It sort of says a bag with different things in it. Groceries went through the roof, and I campaigned on that. I talked about the word groceries for a lot.
It's a bag with different things in it. So we knew Trump wasn't going to be able to do this. And we see prices spiking. Some of the categories are climbing substantially. And so what happens is a family walks into a supermarket and they go, okay, things here are more expensive. I'm leaving with a thinner wallet. I've got fewer options. Now, the White House is trying to spin the numbers. And what they're pointing to is, well, the annualized grocery inflation rate since Donald Trump took office isn't that bad. But that's cold comfort to anybody who's watching the receipt climb higher every week. Trump, we have to hold him to what he promised. He didn't promise a slower rate of price increases. He promised price reductions. That means the inflation rate needs to have a minus sign in front of it. We do not have that. Now, the big picture, the bigger economic picture here is that everything was going to be fixed by tariffs. It's sort of like, how GLP-1s now they're like, oh, not only are GLP-1s good for weight loss, they prevent dementia and they prevent cancer. And it's sort of like, do they or don't they? It's being researched. Trump's equivalent is tariffs will fix everything. Tariffs will bring prices down. They'll bring wages up. They'll bring jobs up. They'll strengthen American manufacturing. None of it is happening. And what we have for Trump is a failed promise of cheaper groceries becoming one of his most visible economic failures. Now, I want to always be upfront with you and tell you the truth. Can presidents do that much about grocery prices? Not really. Much like with gas prices, there's a couple of things that presidents can do. One is tariffs, but not creating them. What presidents can do to lower grocery prices is lower or eliminate tariffs on inputs to the food system. So if you lower tariffs on fertilizer, if you lower tariffs on farm equipment, on imported foods, then you might be able to put a little bit of downward pressure on grocery prices. You can regulate supply chains, right? So if there is a bottleneck in shipping or trucking or at the ports that is causing an increase to grocery prices, well, you could try to end that in order to counteract it. You could do food assistance and subsidies. So you could say, hey, we've got SNAP. We're going to expand SNAP. That is not directly lowering prices, but it's lowering the effective burden of groceries on a household budget. But a lot about groceries is outside of a president's control because it depends on global commodity prices, which have very little to do with the president. Obviously, weather and natural disasters can affect food prices, private retailer markup. So the problem, there are sort of two problems here. Number one, Trump promised something that is impossible. And number two, MAGA believed it and now isn't holding him accountable. There is an opportunity to hold Republicans accountable for this, and it's going to be in November of 2026. But the problem, as usual, are promises that Donald Trump can't possibly keep. And when he fails to keep them, he just blames other people.